In the bustling village of Ita Ogbalu, whispers traveled faster than the Harmattan winds. That morning, the air was thick with tension as news spread like wildfire. Adeola, known in the village for her joyful laughter and kind heart, had returned. But this wasn't a joyous homecoming. It was a storm brewing on the horizon. The people leaned in close to hear every word as she walked down the main road, her eyes fierce and determined. Ejiro, Adeola's childhood friend, rushed towards her. "Deola? Is it really you?" she exclaimed, surprised but with a hint of caution in her voice. Adeola nodded, glancing around the familiar sights of her old home. She knew this day would come, but she hadn't expected to feel so many eyes on her. "Yes, it's me," Adeola replied softly, but her voice carried strength. "I've come back," she paused, her gaze steady, "to reclaim what's mine." Ejiro's face tensed at the mention of the past. "I heard they traded you for gold," she whispered, trying to wrap her mind around the sad truth. Adeola's parents had struck a deal with the wealthy chief Olajuwon when she was just a baby. Her life had been exchanged for riches, a secret that haunted the family. "And I found out," Adeola said, her voice steady but hinting at the hurt beneath. "Ejiro, I plan to get back all they took from me." Later that day, Adeola stood at the marketplace observing the ebb and flow of the vendors, her heart heavy with mixed emotions. An elderly woman selling akara caught her eye. Mama Ajoke had been like a grandmother to her, back when the world still felt right. "Adeola, my dear child," Mama Ajoke greeted with warmth, though her eyes studied Adeola as if searching for remnants of the girl she once knew. "Why do you look like you have come to fight a war?" "Because I have, Mama. I'm here for justice," Adeola replied, her words holding a weight that quieted the market around them. News of Adeola's return reached her parents, sitting in their spacious living room, its lavish decor a sharp reminder of the price they had paid for their prosperity. Adeola's mother, Mojisola, shifted uncomfortably on her ornate chair, fear gnawing at her insides. "We have to talk to her," Mojisola urged her husband Whale. "She'll bring shame to this family," Whaley grunted, tugging at his collar as if it suddenly felt too tight. "Let her come. She'll find nothing but the truth we've lived with." That evening, under the dim glow of kerosene lamps, Adeola confronted her parents in their opulent house. The walls seemed to close in with the weight of a truth unspoken for so long. "You sold me," Adeola's voice cut through the silence, piercing them with her hurt and determination. "For gold. For this." She gestured around at the extravagant decorations. Her mother's eyes filled with tears, but her father just looked away. "It was for the good of the family," Whale mumbled, his voice lacking conviction. Adeola felt the room spin around her. The memories of her years away, treated as nothing more than a possession, fanned the flames of her anger. "Your good cost me my life." Mojisola's tears flowed freely. "We thought it was the best choice. You had everything. Education, comfort. Everything but a real family," Adeola retorted, the pain cracking through her voice. The absence of love in the walls they called home became painfully clear. Adeola's return home was a mix of animosity and false smiles from relatives who had benefited from her sacrifice. They fluttered around her, not out of love, but drawn by guilt and the threat of exposure. A cousin sidled up to her, his words oily and manipulative. "Cousin, let's not make this public. Think of the family." "The family?" Adeola shot back. "Where was this family when I needed you?" Alone in her small, cramped childhood room, still smelling of old furniture and abandonment, Adeola let out a breath she didn't know she held. Here still rested the raggedy doll she had left behind, her only companion once. It was hard to believe this room had been her sanctuary in such a turbulent world. She picked up the doll, her fingers tracing its worn edges. "They'll see who I am now," she whispered, more to herself than the toy. "I'm not the little girl they traded." Rumors of Adeola's intentions began swirling through the village. Some were excited, others fearful of what her revelations might mean for their own comforts and peace. Her presence was a looming thundercloud, pregnant with the promise of a reckoning. Chief Olajuwon himself, the patriarch who held the key to her past and present, was yet to make his move, a fact that kept everyone in suspense, especially Adeola. In a dimly lit bar over the hiss of a hot grill, Adeola met with Jeed, an old school friend who had always stood by her. He promised to help dig into the contracts and agreements her parents had signed. "The truth will set things right, Adeola," Jide assured, his hands clenched around his drink. "I'll be with you all the way." "Thank you," Adeola replied, her gratitude sincere. "I just want my life back." As the days turned to weeks, Adeola found allies in unexpected places, village elders who abhorred the idea that a child could be treated as a commodity. They offered her advice and support. "Your fight is just, child," said Baba Tunde, his voice cracking with age yet unyielding. "We will make them answer for their sins." Adeola felt a flicker of hope. With the community's backing, her resolve only grew, her path forward clearer than ever. Finally, the day arrived for Adeola to face Chief Olajuwon in his grand compound, surrounded by the opulence that symbolized her stolen innocence. He sat in his chair, a lion in his den, unfazed by the storm brewing outside his gates. "Adeola, welcome back," he said, his voice smooth, but lacking sincerity. "What can I do for you?" "End this charade," Adeola replied, her voice steady, her eyes unwavering. "You know why I'm here." Chief Olajuwon sniffed, eyes darkening as he waved his hand dismissively. "Your parents agreed to the terms. The past is dead." "No, Chief. The past is alive and it breathes through the injustice you perpetuate. I want my life back," Adeola insisted, each word planting a seed of truth. Slowly, the resolve in the room shifted, the chief's confident facade cracking under the weight of her unwavering truth. Suddenly, the door swung open, revealing Mojisola, her expression one of fear and desperation. "Please, Adeola, don't do this," she begged. But Adeola was unyielding. "You chose gold over me." She stepped forward, determination burning in her eyes. "I'm taking back my life piece by piece." The silence was deafening, the village awaiting the fallout as Adeola left the compound, her heart a battlefield determined to reclaim what was always hers. The horizon of her future was both daunting and bright. A storm was coming. The early morning air was thick with anticipation as Adeola strode back towards her childhood home, determination anchoring her every step. But doubt crept alongside her resolve. Would exposing the truth mend her fractured heart or deepen the crevices left by betrayal? Her mind circled the recent confrontation with Chief Olajuwon, the dismissive arrogance etched into his face. He had no intentions of righting the past. Adeola's thoughts drifted as her feet brought her to Baba Tunde's doorstep. She needed guidance beyond the immediacy of revenge. "Baba," Adeola called softly, stepping into the old man's humble abode. The air inside was heavy with the scent of sage, a comforting reminder of her youth. Adeola," Baba Tunde wheezed, patting the space beside him. "You look like you carry the world on your shoulders." "That's because I do," she sighed, brushing away a stray tear. "How do you seek justice when it feels like fighting a beast with bare hands?" Baba Tunde's eyes, wise yet weary, held her gaze. "Ah, justice, my child. But what is justice without peace here?" He pointed to her heart. Meanwhile, in the heart of the village, Ejiro met with Jide. "We need something concrete, Jide. Proof that will force Chief Olajuwon and her parents to return all they took from Adeola." Jide nodded, determination in the furrow of his brows. "We will, but I'm worried about Adeola. This path, it could consume her." Ejiro sighed. "I know. Revenge is a double-edged sword. I just pray she sees another way before it's too late." But the urgency in their mission burned brightly, overshadowing the quiet voice of wisdom Ejiro tucked in the back of her mind. The village square was bustling by the time Adeola returned. Whispers and sidelong glances met her like a wall, each glance another reminder of her tumultuous legacy. Her parents' actions had not only affected her but rippled into the community fabric itself. "Adeola!" Mama Ajoke's voice stopped her in her tracks. "A moment, if you will." Despite herself, Adeola approached the older woman whose presence felt like a sanctuary amidst the storm inside her. "You've grown strong. Just don't forget, my dear." Mama Ajoke's voice was low, thick with caution. "Revenge doesn't heal the heart. Only love and forgiveness can do that." Adeola nodded, though the words felt more like a gentle burden than solace. Adeola sat alone in her room that night, poring over the documents Jide had procured. Evidence was there, clear pathways revealing her trade like a ledger in a market. But the cost of war weighed heavy on her heart. Mojisola's hesitant voice broke the silence. "Adeola, may I come in?" Reluctantly, Adeola allowed her in, eyes wary, defenses high. Her mother's face looked gaunt, shadows clinging to the corners of her eyes. "We thought we lost you." Mojisola's voice was barely a whisper. "It hurt us too, not being able to love you as we should." Adeola's heart wavered, a fissure forming in the concrete wall of resentment. "You chose him over me, Ma. How could you?" Mojisola paused, weighed down by shame. "We were afraid of losing everything, but never realized. In doing so, we lost our daughter." As the minutes ticked by, Adeola's heart battled within her. Her resolve against the truth the elders, Mama Ajoke, and even her mother had presented began to unravel. Here in her childhood room, the enormity of vengeance grew. Would bringing them to ruin revive what was lost? Soft sobs escaped Mojisola, a mother conflicted by her choices and haunted by their consequences. "I'm sorry," she swallowed thickly, "but forgiveness. It's the only way forward." Adeola's jaw clenched, a torrent of emotions threatening to drown her. But beneath it all, a glimmer of understanding flickered. In the shadows of the moonlit night, Adeola, unable to sleep, wandered to the small church at the edge of town. She hesitated at the entrance, memories of Sunday services flitting across her mind, moments of community, of peace. Inside, the modest building sat empty, save for a lone candle flickering at the altar. Adeola knelt, uncertainty in her heart, the first glimmer of surrender softening her spirit. "God," she murmured, voice cracking, "I came back to reclaim my life. But now I don't know if revenge is the answer." In the quiet echo of her own words, Adeola finally let go of the bitterness clinging to her. She prayed for strength, for clarity, and most importantly, for the courage to forgive. Telling herself the truth, that the peace she sought wasn't in restitution, but in release. The pain wouldn't vanish, nor would the scars fade with the dawn. But slowly, the lightness of grace seeped into her soul, one breath, one whispered prayer at a time. Dawn broke, casting golden light over the village. As morning crept through the windows, Adeola gazed at her reflection. The scars of betrayal and anger, once so raw, seemed distant now, not gone, but acknowledged. Her war wasn't over, but it had changed. Her heart felt different, not ready to forget, but willing to forgive. A new path lay ahead of her, one paved not by revenge, but redemption. In the heart of the village, Adeola stood before a gathering drawn to see the outcome. Her parents stood to one side, Chief Olajuwon on the other. All awaited her next move. "I came back to take back what was mine," she declared, voice clear, resonating through the crowd. "But today I choose a different battle." Conflicted eyes met hers, but Adeola held firm, her voice steady, forged in the quiet strength only God could ignite. "I will not forget, nor will I condone, but I choose to let go. You have to answer to your own consciences. I forgive you." Her mother's eyes filled with tears of relief as Adeola's words sank in. The burden of shame began to lift, lightening their hearts in ways they'd never anticipated. It was unfinished business, sure, but it was a beginning. Mama Ajoke approached Adeola as the crowd dispersed. "My dear, it takes strength to forgive, more than to seek revenge." Adeola nodded, tears glistening. "Thank you, Mama. I see now. Revenge wouldn't have given me peace." "Remember, OJ is on your side, always," Mama Ajoke whispered, gesturing towards the heavens. In the quiet of the retreating day, with the weights of the past still heavy but shared, Adeola looked out over the horizon. The future promised struggle and healing, but her heart, untangled from bitterness, was free. A freedom found not in retribution, but in grace. As the sun set, washing the village in hues of peace, Adeola realized this truth. While revenge desired to take all, Christ gave everything back. That night, Adeola returned to the church, a different peace residing in her heart. She placed a small Bible from her travels at the altar, a symbol, a commitment, and a newfound faith. The horizon, once daunting, now inspired hope and healing. Though revenge's fire had dimmed, Adeola knew her journey was far from over. But whatever path awaited her, she trusted with each step. Forgiveness wasn't weakness, it was warfare, and Christ was her armor. The church bell chimed a gentle melody into the night as Adeola stepped into her future, one hopeful, faith-laden stride at a time.
Thank you so much for listening to this intriguing story. I hope it touched you or taught you something. For more stories like this, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the page. And guys, if you'd like to see a part 2, or you have thoughts on what happened, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. See you in the next story.